Hello and welcome back. Today going to be going over garlic scapes. When to harvest, why to harvest, where to harvest, and other such things. So garlic scapes are the flowering part of hardneck garlic. You're not going to find these on softneck. Hardneck garlic, you may not even find it in stores very often. You probably mostly see softneck garlic. You can tell it's hardneck because when you get your bulb and it's in that nice wrapper, when you go to break that bulb apart, you've got all the individual cloves and there'll be a really hard stalk right in the middle of it. And that tells you that it's a hardneck garlic. Certain garlics will grow better in certain areas. I tend to have pretty good success with both types, soft and hardneck. So I just keep growing both of them, specifically hardneck because we get this crop first. And what this is again, the flowering stalk. But you want to harvest it because as that garlic is producing this shoot, it's putting energy towards getting a flower to go. And that flower is going to take that energy away and then eventually cause seed. This is the flowering part right here. It'll eventually open up. This entire thing is useful though. I've got Moroccan Creole right here, and then this one over here is Kate's backyard, so it's divided by these poles. And then also my tomatoes are doing really well interplanted in between the garlic. So I'm just going to harvest the garlic scapes from this side as there's none on the soft neck kind. So be right back. Okay. Let's talk about the when. When do we harvest these? You can harvest them really anytime they pop up. There's really no wrong time to do it. The big thing is that you do it. So again, you divert that energy back to bulb development. But the best time to do it is really once they start curving. Again, you can get them right when they're maybe a couple inches tall, but you're really not getting much to use. So sometimes this flower will just barely be sticking out of the middle right here, but you're really not getting too much. So once it starts to curl over, then that's when you want to do it. These things can curl a couple times before they'll try to eventually go to flower. Myself, I haven't had any ever flower. I tend to get on them pretty quick. But again, this is what I'm aiming for right here. This gives us plenty to use for whatever we're going to put it in, while also still catching it early enough to where it's not sucking tons of energy away from the plant. Next scene. So the why do we harvest? I'd already discussed the energy that this thing is taking away from the bulb. So I guess that's it. That's why. I mean, really the short of it is that you just don't want it to take away from the bulb. The other one is that these things are absolutely delicious. I've got some concerns with my garlic. As I go through and collect the scapes, this is the first time I've seen it to where it's almost growing like an onion. So typically you'll see garlic grow like this. So you got the garlic scape that'll come up right here, and then you've just got all the bigger outer leaves. What I'm seeing with this one though is all these internal leaves, which what I'm thinking is probably going on is the cloves down under the soil are also sprouting, which means my garlic, as far as bulbing goes, may be ruined. So what I'm going to do is pull this up and see what's going on, and if anything, I may end up just using it as green garlic or fresh garlic. Oh, that's a good looking clove. Look at that. Ooh, buddy. That is beautiful. It might actually be ready to harvest even though it's not dead yet. So let's see what's going on. So as the garlic's harvested, each one of these leaves is part of the paper husk that you'll typically see in the store. So what we see right here is we've got shoots that are separate of the overall bulb, which is not something I really want, because what I want is this stalk right here to be the only thing that's sending up actual growth. So these may not end up storing all that well, and a lot of my garlic is like this. But what you'll see is the individual cloves themselves have sprouted. So what to do from there, I'm not too sure yet. This is where we're going to rely on trial and error and education. Maybe I planted too early, maybe the season was just nice and wet enough for them that they decided to sprout individual. This is the first time I've seen this, so I'll do a little research and we'll do an update video. Either way, garlic is garlic and it's going to be delicious. Guys, I've been trying to shoot the last part of this video for at least longer than this entire video has gone on. And Lemmy over here, the camera dude, he's just been berating me. Look at the camera right here, right? And he's like, don't cover it up. And I'm like, okay, man, cooled out, man. They're cool with it. They know I'm not a professional and they just want to hear about delicious garlic scapes. So with all that said, Lemmy, go grab yourself a Truly, probably the peach mango. I think he likes peach mango. Lemmy? Okay, good. After everything I've shown, everything I've discussed, the final question is, Mr. Dirty Gardener, what do you do with the garlic scapes? What I usually do is I just freeze them, which there's nothing special about that. You put them in a Ziploc bag, put them in the freezer, and then we just use them whenever we use them. But the best thing we found so far, and it kicked this thing up like tenfold, was to blend them up and put them in pesto. Make pesto a typical way that you would. I'm not exactly sure how. Everything goes in a blender. My wife does it. She's great at it. But she took the garlic scapes that I was planning to dehydrate and turn into a powder, and she just took all of them. We put them in a blender, blended them up. I gave them to her, and then she did her thing. And the pesto was amazing. So, you know, me speaking about it on a video isn't going to do justice. So what I'd recommend is, if you don't have anything growing yet, put something in the ground, but then wait until October, November 15th-ish, depending on where you're growing. This may eventually reach millions of people, probably about my 15 subscribers. So I hope you guys are in regions that grow garlic well, which most places will. But just grow them, grow a hardneck variety, a softneck variety. They require very little effort. Put them in the ground, and then you don't even have, most of the time you don't have to water them, you don't have to fertilize them, and you'll get some really decent bulbs. Plant them deep enough and you'll get some good bulbs. But when you get these garlic scapes, don't miss out on the opportunity to use them, because they're not just a flowering thing you throw away. A lot of the times that we see a flower pop up on a plant, we think, okay, well, it's no longer usable. Like even broccoli, kale, anything that you grow in the garden that goes to flower, you can probably eat it. Zucchinis, pumpkins, any kind of a gourd, you can eat the flowers and they're delicious. So think about that with garlic too. Garlic is trying to go to flower, the hardneck stuff. And you can use that flower, and when you start using it, it's gonna be amazing. It's gonna change your life, and you're gonna start growing a lot more garlic. Until next time, stay